we have roll call, please?
Yes. Present tonight we have Kathy Moore, Darrell Lopez, Tommy Minton, Curtis Gashland, Kristen Swetland, and Mr. Lawrence Wright. Absent is David Pollock.
Thank you. If everyone check your cell phones, make sure they're turned off, please. The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the March 6, 2018 meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve minutes as is.
Mr. Lopez?
Second.
Mr. Wright? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is public comment. This is the time for anyone from the public wishing to speak to the board about any item that's not a public hearing item. Seeing none, we'll close public comment. Next item is public meeting. This is the deviation request for 25 West Mitchell Hammock, Suite 111. Do we have the applicant present? Can you come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record?
David Axel, that's real estate 1757 West Broadway Street, Suite 1, Oviedo Park.
Okay, and you want to tell us about the project and why we should approve it?
Sure. I'm sure you've all seen Stonehill Plaza, which is going at the northwest corner of Central and West Mitchell Hammock. This deals with the southwest building, in which there's 3 tenants. First Watch has opened. They're on the western side. On the eastern side will be BurgerFi, and in the middle is this business, which is Floyd's Barber. Floyd's is a unique layout situation because they actually have a front and back entrance, and this particular project, in complying with the city's new architectural standards and the regulations of the CHR district, only has a single row of parking on the south side. So this tenant had asked the developer, with my help, to approach staff, and we talked about how this particular situation is a little different, and we were seeking a way to draw the actual customers of the business to the north side entrance, because there's a bulk of parking there. It just so happens that if you look at attachment 2, where they show the actual layout of the building, on, I believe it's the first page marked 2 of 6 on the right-hand side, this particular unit is inset into the building architecture, and you can't actually see this sign unless you are parked in the parking field or have entered the site from the north. So this additional sign won't be visible on Central, only on the property. So that makes it a particularly unique situation. Actually, when I initially approached staff, the tenant was seeking the same size sign as in the front, and we went back and spoke to them, and we're now at roughly a third of what would be in front, and just enough of a sign to get folks' attention and get efficient use of the site with that more parking. And so I appreciate your approval of this deviation request today, and I'm here to answer any questions anyone has.
Thank you. Are there any questions of the applicant? Thank you. Can we hear from staff?
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members. As Mr. Axel mentioned, this is a request for the board to approve a sign deviation for Floyd's Barbershop to install an additional sign at the rear of the building to allow customers to enter the building from the rear door as well as the front door. It is in Building 1 of Stonehill Plaza, Suite 111. The deviation requested is 12.56 square foot to the maximum 39.83 square foot allowed for a wall sign area of an individual occupancy in a shopping center per section 14.7 parens B2, based on a calculation of a maximum of 2 square feet for each building unit front foot to allow the construction of the 12.56 square foot sign, and it is a round sign. The site is in the downtown mixed-use CHR zoning district. Staff has reviewed the information in in relation to Section 2.7C of the Land Development Code and found that, as Mr. Axel mentioned, there are special conditions and circumstances in the site that's unique to the design and layout of the barbershop, in that there are entrances on both the front south and the north rear facades. Customer parking is accessible and visible to the north rear facade and the second entrance in the north. The scale and intensity of the sign requested is compatible with the surrounding area and is not adversely impacting adjacent land uses. The existing building materials of the rear facade already exceeds the minimum requirements for both brick and stone, so staff didn't see the need to provide further mitigation since they've already provided so much of the desirable building materials that the city prefers. And the deviation is not necessary to conserve or protect any environmentally sensitive areas. This is the minimum deviation granted. As Mr. Axel mentioned, they came up to us originally with the exact same size as the front for the rear, and they scaled it back down significantly. And there are no non-conforming situations on neighboring properties or districts that were considered during this review. So with that, staff recommends approval of the development order, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Are there questions of staff?
I have one.
Mr. Lopez?
On page 9, on the diagram, on the back signage, you have the signage and a barber pole, but I don't see that barber pole mentioned anyplace else.
It's just like a red and white.
I understand, but it's but it's not even, it's on this diagram, but it's not on any sequential diagrams, nor is it part of the verbiage. I just want to make sure that
Yeah, that is included. Yes.
Are there any other questions of staff? Okay, this is not a public hearing item, so what's the board's pleasure?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Wright?
I make a motion to approve the deviation request, 25 West Mitchell Hammock Road, Suite 111.
Is there a second?
second.
Mr. Lopez? Is there any discussion? Mr. Wright? Okay. Anyone else? Okay, we'll call the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck with your sign. Okay, we have no public hearings tonight. We have no discussion items listed. Is there anything any of the board members think we need to talk about tonight? Okay, short meeting. Future meeting dates are April 17th and May 1st. Do we know if we have items for either of those nights yet?
Not at this time.
Okay. And as always, if you know you're not going to be here, please let Dahlia know as soon as possible so we'll know if we have a quorum. If nothing else, we have a motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up a sec. We have a new staff member that we'll be dealing with on this board. And I apologize I didn't recognize you sooner. Can you tell me what your name is again, please? Jay Higbee. Welcome to the city and to this board. Thank you. Now do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Mr. Lopez. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We stand adjourned.